are going to be making a maze, and we're going to be doing this out of graph paper. So I have graph paper here, which is actually it has a carbon underneath, so I have to put down this in order, if I write on it, it won't go to the other pages. I need a pencil, a pen, an eraser, and I'm going to use a ruler so I can make straight lines, but you may not need it if you can follow the lines of the graph paper better than me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start off with making a square, and let's see, I'm going to do a square that is 1, 2. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm going to do 12. Even with the straight line, I'm still messing up. So now I'm going to count that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's going to be my last one. Okay, so I made a box. All mazes don't come in squares, but since we're just starting off with a new one, that's why I'm doing that. But you can make it any shape you really want. The most important thing is just that you know that we have one line that will get here to another. I'm also making these lines a little bit darker than I normally would because I want to make sure they show up on the screen. But if you were going to make it, you were going to do it fainter, because while we are going to be erasing, the darker we are, as you know, when we erase, it'll still leave behind some line and impression. So what we're going to do is that we're going to find, let's say this side is my start, so I'll just put start, and over here somewhere it's going to be my end, and we're going to make one line that's going to go from here to here and make sure they're connecting. And you can just make it any way. And actually, I'm going to have it end right here just to make it a little easier for me. All right, so now let's take a spot, kind of one spot away, and we'll trace. And see, this is what happens when I don't actually use my straight edge that I have. You see how wobbly these lines are? So I messed up a little. I'm just going to have this as this is going to be a really simple one. In order to mess some people up, and I know if you've done a maze, sometimes you go a place and you're like, oh, this must be the where we were supposed to go, and you don't. So just erase some holes along the way to make some dead ends. And again, if you were doing this, you can make it a lot bigger, so then you can make it complicated. But I'm just trying to do a very simple maze. Okay, so now we have fake openings to create some false paths. Now, we are going to darken with a pen the actual path that we're taking. And just remember to leave those openings. then now this is where we're going to go in and make some just false paths. But in order for us to just know where we actually are supposed to go, you can mark the way for the real one. And we're making it very light so I can erase it later. Okay. Now let's start adding some additional lines. And I'm going to do this in pencil first because I'm not super confident. And the important thing is we want to make sure that when we make these additional lines, we're not actually connecting it to the holes that actually will lead the people. We don't want any shortcuts here. Now we are going to erase the line. Okay, so the ink wasn't like super dry, and that's why it's smearing like that. So just make sure when you do it, it's dry. Okay, and so then here we go. We have a maze. Here's the start and there's the finish, and you can tell because I made some of the lines a little bit darker. You can kind of see them. Also, because I'm using paper that have a carbon copy, if you ever see in your emails that say CC, this is what they mean. This is like they used to put carbon underneath something to make the copies, and then if you draw on one, you can draw on the other. So that's what I do. A heart. It's a way to make a copy of something. So, I don't know why I brought that up, but that's just what it is. So you can make one of these as simple or as difficult as you would like. And so that is all that I have for you. So